Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with the Inspired by Disney YouTube hop, and this hop was put together by Christina Sorge from the Secret Not Secret Kit Club and Redefine Creative, and she had asked the question if anyone wanted to participate in a Disney and Star Wars themed hop, and I of course said you're talking about two of my favorite things, so of course I was going to put a layout together for this. And so here I am just showing you all of the items that I pulled to use for this. I'm primarily using a lot of items from the Paige Evans, her new line. I have some of her pattern papers. I don't have a ton of this different pattern papers from this collection, but I do have some. And so this is what I pulled to use for this page. I am kind of going with a different color scheme than I typically use, which is I'm going with blues and pinks and purples. I don't use a lot of purple, so this is definitely different for me. And so those are the colors that I chose. So those colors are actually inspired by my photos that I showed at the beginning. And the photos themselves are from Disney. So I have both inspired by colors, which are in my photos, and inspired by the photos being from Disney themselves. So first things first, for this layout, I'm taking this pink grid background pattern paper, and I'm taking some purple magicals and just adding some splatters to the background. I did not prep this paper or add any gesso to it, but I am not using a ton of water. I just wanted to get some interest in the background, and a lot of it does get covered up, but I wanted to add some interest with these sort of pink splatters to this background. I like to add a little something to my pattern paper backgrounds just so that they're not completely flat. And so those magicals are really fun. They kind of have a blue and purple tint to them, so they work out perfectly for this layout. Now, while that is drying here in a second, I'm going to move it off to the side so that I can work on the other parts of my layout. The first thing here that I'm going to do are to take my photos, and I actually end up using 4 photos for this layout. Now, I have taken these photos and put them into the Project Life app, and that way I can do them as sort of 2 3x4s side by side. Then I go ahead and print them on my Canon Selfie. Now, I did do them bordered, so they are smaller than 3x4, but that actually works out perfect for me because I can then fit these photos easily on a 1-page layout, which is what I am creating today. Now there you can see one of my photos, and I'm going to go ahead and start to mat those photos here in a second. These photos are actually from this past January in the Hollywood studios, where they had the Star Wars memorabilia out on display. Now, I know that they have since opened the new Star Wars World, which we are going to go see this next January, and so I'm sure that this has all moved from its original location. But these photos, I wanted to get them scrapped, and it worked out perfectly for this Disney-inspired blog or video hop. And so I'm going to scrapbook all 4 of these photos today. So guys, be sure to, I'm going to have some of the links down below, but if you search in YouTube Inspired by Disney, I know you will find lots of YouTubers creating layouts for this hop today, as well as there are going to be ladies posting over on Instagram as well. So be sure to go and check out all of the fun inspiration that will be out on YouTube and Instagram today. Now, while my background is still drying, I am going to lay out here on my mat the design that I'm going to have for this layout. I'm going to use that blue star paper as the main sort of background pattern paper to which my photos and things will get matted on. I also had this star cut file on my desk, and so I'm going to pull that out and use that as well on this layout, because of course we're talking about Star Wars, which is set in space, as well as Disney. I always think of stars as well, so it worked out perfectly for this layout. I also had sitting on my desk some Mickey heads that I had punched, and so those of course will make it to this Disney inspired layout. So there you see, this is how the majority of my design is going to go. And now that my background is dried, I'm actually going to take some stamps. And this first one is just a really distressed text stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on my background paper as well. I like the added interest and texture that it gives. Keeps my background from being super flat, and so I'm just going to add a little bit of that there with that purple Distress Oxide ink, as well as here in a second I am going to grab a second stamp set that has some individual little stars to which I will kind of cluster together on my little acrylic block there, and I will go ahead and stamp those here in a second as well, just again to add some interest. I'm using 2 colors of Distress Oxide. I don't remember if I showed them at the beginning, but if you would like to know the names of the Distress Oxide colors, just leave me a comment below and I will be sure to get back to you with the colors that I'm using. So here I am stamping the blue to my background, which I'm absolutely in love with how this layout turned out. These colors just are so... I love the color combination together, and it's so happy. It makes me smile every time I see it. And it's, of course, Star Wars and Disney related. So what could be better than that, right? So here I am just going to go ahead and lay my bits and pieces for my layout all back out. As you saw, I had them on my mat earlier. And I do glue everything down off camera. So I'm just going to lay everything out so that you can see the design come together. So I'm just going to kind of fuss around a bit with the placement of everything, but essentially everything goes back in the same placement as I had them originally. Now, most of the embellishments are either things that I just had on my desk that matched the colors I was going for, as well as some of the ephemera pieces from that Paige Evans collection. I did cut apart that star cut file and used a few of the stars in my other clusters as well, just to carry that star icon around the page. I also added a very random bird that just happened to match the colors. So for me, that definitely works for my layout. And so I'm covering up that label at the top, had some words on it that didn't work for this layout, but I just covered it up with a chipboard heart and a little picture perfect ephemera piece. Now I have gone off camera, glued everything down, so everything is sort of set in place. And that means it is time to work on my title. So I am taking these epoxy stickers from that Paige Evans collection, and this originally I think was supposed to go with a title that would have said "Make Your Own Magic," but I decided to take the word magic from that epoxy sticker sheet, and I'm going to use that as part of my title. I'm also going to use the word adventure, which is actually printed on that 4x6 journaling card. I can't speak. And then I'm going to take some of these epoxy stars from this sticker sheet as well and dot those around the layout as well, just to again add some additional texture. Next, to finish off my title, I am going to pull out these very, very old Recollection stickers in this pinky purple color, which I have never actually used, but I actually really like this font a lot. This color isn't one that I use a ton, so it was kind of fun to pull something I've had in my stash for a long time and get it on a page. So with those epoxy stickers, or rubber purple stickers I should say, those I'm going to spell out the word stars, and then those Pink Fresh tiny alphas to the side there I'm going to write in the stars. So the title for this one is Magic Adventure in the Stars, which I think is pretty fitting for a Star Wars picture layout. And magic, of course, and all things sort of make-believe definitely fit with the Disney theme that we're going with this for this hop. So I am loving how this layout came together. So I'm just looking for a few last minute pieces to put on this layout, and then guys, I will have still photos at the end. If you are liking these videos, you can definitely hit that subscribe button, and you can check out when I get new layouts up on my channel. Be sure to check the box down below for the other ladies participating in the hop, or search YouTube for anyone I may have missed. And with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.